Good evening, everyone. My name is Fiona, and I am the banana. I'm yellow on the outside and white on the inside. I'm a German citizen. I was born in Malaysia. I grew up in Germany, stayed a couple of years in the States, and since 2010, I'm here in Hong Kong. At work, whether you believe it or not, my nickname is the diversity token. And while I really love that companies, leaders, and organizations embrace the power of diversity, I believe that we need to do much more in terms of inclusion and to help people who struggle with their cultural identity to feel that they belong. For most of my life, I blamed my father for bringing me to a foreign country where I never felt that I truly belonged. There are people who are making fun of me because of the way I look, because of the way I spoke. And ching chang chong, that is a phrase that I constantly had to hear while people are pulling up the corners of their eyes to imitate the way I look. So, being a diversity token has taught me a lot of things. And my dad told me this story about how he actually traveled to Germany. When he was 17, he backpacked with a couple of his friends and $100 from Malaysia all the way to Germany. His grandma actually had to sell his sewing machine so he could afford that trip. He went by ship, he went by bus, he even went on a horse carriage to travel through countries like Afghanistan, Iran, and India. And 32 days later, he finally arrived in Germany with 14 kgs lighter. And luckily for him, we're talking about his body weight because a lot of his friends actually were not that lucky and got their belongings stolen. So my dad immediately fell in love with the country and with the people. And when he returned back to Malaysia, even after 14 years later, in 1986, he finally decided that he wanted to make it big in Germany and that he wanted to provide his young family with a better life. And with my dad pursuing his dream, he also changed my destiny. Now, being a diversity token or being a third culture kid, we're not alone. 232 million people are living in the world, and it would make it the 5th most populous nation in the world. But based on research by the United Nations, 80% of us feel that we don't really fit in. So for me, now, I can confidently and proudly say that I identify myself as a global citizen. But getting here to this point took a lot of painful experiences, but also finally the realization how I can turn my adversities into my advantages. For children and for teenagers in a transient and a fast-paced environment like in Hong Kong, I feel that we need to do much more to support them because it's already tough in itself to grow up here. So I really want to help the youth to strengthen their resilience, to build their tenacity, and to really be proud of their diverse cultural background, and to finally realize that there is power to being a diversity token. And I believe that the conversation has to start now. Thank you.